and welcome back to Montana. Like I had mentioned last week, I want to show you guys how I prepare a meal on the wood stove. So, I don't do it very often, but it's good practice. So let's see if I can do it. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Cece. My husband Kirk and I homestead in the big beautiful state of Montana. And even though winter has not fully hit Montana yet, I know that it's coming. And with that always runs the possibility of a big blizzard, something happening, and the power going out. Whether it is short term, a few hours, whether it turns into 2 or 3 days. I want to know and be prepared to be able to put food on the table. So wood stove is how I would do it, hence why I need to practice a few more times. And I want to brainstorm some ideas that would be easy to do on the wood stove if I choose not to go like the route I'm going tonight. I'm going to try to do shepherd's pie tonight, but you could do hot dogs, you could fry eggs on the wood stove, you could do burgers, you could open a can of soup, as long as you would have something that could handle the heat. You could also do it on your camping stove, you could do it on a barbecue grill, whatever it is, just practice a few times so you've got it. And the other thing to keep in mind is what kind of food are you going to use? Because the refrigerators are going to be a little iffy whether they're going to be operable or not. Again, it depends on how long your power is out. So for the majority of tonight's supper is going to be freeze-dried food. I did thaw out some hamburger, and I'll be using water. We have a hand pump in the well, but I'm not going to go out and hand pump water. I'll just cheat tonight and get it out of the sink. But other than that, everything else is going to be freeze-dried. The beautiful thing about freeze-dried is you can open a can, use what you need, and put it back on the pantry. You don't have to put it in the refrigerator like you would if you popped a homemade canned good item. So let me go, oh, there was a fly. Let me go get the burger and bring it out here, and let's see if we can get started. Okay, as the burger is in the living room cooking up, I'm gonna put some vegetables in a little sack and probably or in a bowl, and put a little water in with them. So, I have just a little bit of dehydrated zucchini that I had done. Some freeze-dried onions. This company is no longer available, but I am still going to use it because I have a lot of it from years past, and I will tell you where I buy freeze-dried food at from now. Let's throw some onion in there. I couldn't find peas, so I'm gonna substitute with some broccoli. You could add some carrots. I do have some canned carrots. I don't know, I'm kind of thinking about maybe throwing in some of my canned carrots yet too. Some corn. This will be my mashed potatoes. This is the company that I am now buying, Ready Harvest. And again, I will let you guys know like the website and how you get a hold of this. The easiest way, instead of trying to hand make something yourself, the easiest way would be to do like a pre-made meal. And a friend of mine actually told me it's a good idea to have some of these on hand, because sometimes when the power goes out, your brain kind of wants to scatter, and you're kind of like, how do I get water? How do I take care of my animals? How do I heat my house? How do I take care of my kids? And just putting hot water in those and making a meal sometimes is the easiest and fastest thing to do. However, I also know that some people want to be in charge of exactly what they're putting in their body, and we lean a little bit more towards that. Those are very convenient though. I have quite a few of those on hand. And so I want to make my own tonight. And that way, if you have, you know, gluten issues, anything like that, you can really customize your own meal, and it is still really simple. So, I don't know, this looks like maybe enough veggies. And then I'm gonna add some freeze-dried tomato sauce. And this is kind of like a chicken gravy, so I'm gonna dump a little of this. This has really good flavoring. And I'm just gonna add some water. I'll probably add quite a bit of water because it's probably gonna simmer and sit there for a while. So let me get that. And I can hear the burger sizzling on there, so we gotta get back in there. Okay, as the hamburger cooks up, I thought maybe I could brainstorm with you guys 3 days worth of really easy meals that you could do either on a wood stove, on your grill, or even on a camp stove. So let's talk breakfast. You could do oatmeal, you could do some pancakes, you could potentially do eggs. You could even do freeze-dried eggs, add some water, make them like a scrambled egg and stuff like that. If anybody else has any ideas of what to do for breakfast, comment below and we'll kind of start brainstorming. Lunch and supper, like I said, you could do burgers, you could do hot dogs, you could do shepherd's pie, you could do soups, you could probably do some other types of casseroles, spaghetti. Spaghetti might be a little bit trickier because you're gonna have to like have 3 different pots going. But another great idea is you could go on Facebook and look up Jara's Meals in a Jar. And she has a link there that you can go and download and print. Printing is important. A whole bunch of easy meals that you could make ahead of time and put them in a mason jar and put them in the pantry and you are good to go. You absolutely could do the pre-made packages. And so start thinking about some of those meals now, because I know when the power goes out, my brain kind of goes a little foggy and trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So to have some meals maybe even written down on a piece of paper and stuck to the pantry wall, that would be easy meals for you to be able to whip up together, you know, on a wood stove or whatever you're using to cook. All right, I'm gonna throw in our vegetable and sauce mixture. I'm gonna throw in just a little bit of seasoning that I have. And I'm gonna pull this off the hot spot. Pull it back here just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna give you a close-up. I don't think there's enough liquid in there, and I'm not entirely sure there's enough sauce in there, so I may have to go add a little bit more, but let me give you a real close view of here. My wood stove is the absolute hottest right here in the center. That's normally where we keep a kettle of water going, so it's discolored. Back in the back is normally the least hot. So I'm gonna go see if I can find like a small can of tomato paste or something like that, because I'm trying to keep this very much non-refrigerated items. Okay, I didn't want to open a can of tomato paste because then I'd have to put the rest in the refrigerator, and that's exactly what we're trying to avoid doing using our refrigerator. So I just put some more of that powdered gravy mix in and put a lid on it, and I'm just gonna let it simmer and boil for a while. And then I think maybe here after a while I'll make up the mashed potatoes and pour them on top. So I wanted to take a moment to talk about Thrivalist, this company that I'm buying my freeze-dried foods from. I am affiliated, and this, starting Monday, November 24th through December 1st, they are offering a huge sale. Everything on their website, except for the educational aspect of it, the trainings, is going to be on sale. They carry Mountain House freeze-dried items. They carry that Ready Harvest freeze-dried products. And then they also carry bottled water that has been done correctly, designed for long-term storage. They carry survival gear, survival things such as, you know, there's emergency tents, there's emergency sleeping bags, there's water filters, the kind that you can put in your water bottle and drink through it, or even a big one that you would put on your kitchen counter, to even the kind that you drink out of, like a straw, and with a little hand pump if you're out camping. They've got, I think I saw like a reflective glass, they've got some rope, they've got, it looks like a multi-tool hatchet type of thing. They do have some electrolytes, because the idea is if you're buying their bottled water, like they've bottled it so well, there's absolutely nothing in there. And so for you to get the max out of your water, you're gonna need to re-mineralize it a little. And so they have Redmond's electrolytes on that site as well. So it's kind of like it's a really nice place that you can go shop for learning and getting your items to be prepared. You can just shop very small things and just be prepared for winters, or you can go as big as you want and prepare for the world ending, if that's what your thing is. So I will try to see if I can put a QR link here, if I can figure it out, and or I will put my personal link right down here. And again, that sale starts Monday, the 24th of November. Sorry, this is 2025, so if somebody's watching this, you know, much past that date, the sale's not there. But you can still go check out the website. They still have a bunch of cool things. And so go check it out, see what you think, and we will come back in a little while and start the mashed potatoes. All right, I got some water on to boil, and then I'm just gonna use some dehydrated potato flakes. They come from the same company. The nice thing about these are just potato flakes. There's nothing else added to them. Most of their single ingredients is exactly like that. There's nothing added to them. And yes, there's a lot of places that offer freeze-dried food for cheaper than this company does. However, the problem is sometimes it's not packaged right, and you don't know that until several years down the road when you go to open a can and the inside of the can is rusted, or you go to eat a little bit of it and it tastes like metal because it wasn't done in the correct form or in the correct packaging. So make sure you're buying from a reputable place. And if you're one of those people who have bought freeze-dried food in the past and you're unsure, open one or two things every now and then and just make sure everything is okay. Maybe stick with strawberries. That's something that, you know, a lot of people, like, you can buy freeze-dried strawberries just about anywhere. So that way you're not like breaking into your like really good stuff. And just taste it. Make sure that it's still edible. Make sure that it's still good. So that was a tip I learned on one of the educational courses that I did not know about. My fire is also starting to die out a little, so I may go throw a little bit of more wood in there. I don't know. I have about 20 minutes until I need to have supper ready, and I'm not entirely sure if it's hot enough to make that water boil. Okay, I'm getting a little concerned. My water still has not boiled, and I have about 10 minutes until the rest of my family comes home, if that. So I'm gonna go ahead, just put the potato flakes in there and kind of make a mashed potato, stick it on top of the shepherd pie. I know it's not a traditional shepherd's pie, but that's the beautiful thing about shepherd's pie. You can kind of make it however you want. And this is boiling some, so I think then I'll be able to move it to the center of my wood stove and everything will be okay. No, you won't have cheese put on top and have that crispy like you do when you put it in the oven, but you still have your mashed potatoes on top. So I have a pan over here on the side of my chair so I can put the lids on. If I had to cook on this regularly, there would definitely be tables and all of the things around here, but just for this evening and practice runs, you kind of just deal with it. Okay, I probably didn't measure my water quite right because those were very thick mashed potatoes. It is simmering and cooking away, and we should be ready to eat here in just a few more minutes. All right, we brought it out here so it's easier to serve up. There we go. Bowl number 2. Anyways, I hope this inspires you guys to start thinking outside of just burgers and hot dogs in case the power goes out on the grill. Start thinking that you can actually cook real meals on top of things that are not your stove. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to brainstorm and let us know down below what are some easy meals that basically require just heating up water, and we'll catch you next week.